and gentlemen. We are starting the subsea operation parallel section. My name is Argimiro Sec from Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, and the co-chair is Professor Sigmar Solberg.
Almost correct, yes.
From Norway. And you have here 6 talks about subsea operation, 3 from Norway and other 3 from Brazil. Okay, so the first 3 is from Norway. Okay, and the first talk is Norwegian Brazilian collaboration, SAIF Subpro and Interpod Brazilian and Norway Subsea Operation Consortium, that will be given by Professor Sigmar Solberg. Okay, so you have about 20 minutes presentation and more 5 minutes for questions or something like that. Okay, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you.
Please use the microphone.
Does it work? It's on, yeah. I will present the Norwegian-Brazilian collaboration, and there are 2 projects I will present, Subpro and Interpod, BN Subsea Cooperation Consortium. And I will start presenting the Subpro. This is a research-based innovation project supported by Research Council of Norway and a number of oil companies and service companies. And it's about subsea production and processing. Why subsea? Well, we still think there is several gaps to be closed. And what we may see from this project is that we'll try to increase the recovery from existing field, enable developments of new and more demanding oil and gas field, and reduce cost and complexity of the subsea field developments. And this research program, there is a number of PhD students, and innovation is also a part of this, and we hope that this will also end up with some new innovation which can be commercialized by the industry. The objective and goals. The primary objective of the center is to become a global leader for research-based innovation within subsea production and processing. That's the main goal. And from the reservoir to the receiving facility, we have the seabed equipment consisting of the subsea wellhead and Christmas tree. We have the pipeline, riser, manifold on the seabed, subsea processing, including boosting and gas compression. What we cover in Subpro is not everything in subsea. The dark blue is the main process directly covered by Subpro, and it includes cooling, water handling, separation, gas treatment, oil treatment, and main process, partly covered by Subpro, is the blue light. This is it's hard to see the color here. Let me take the next one. Main process not covered by Subpro is structure pipeline and riser, field, subsea field center technology, and power and transmission and distribution. Supporting system directly covered by Subpro is system design, control system, and monitoring. And supporting system indirectly covered by Subpro is installation, intervention, and inspection, maintenance, and repair. So this is basically what we cover in Subpro. At the moment, there is 20 PhD and 5 postdoc project ongoing. and 15 to 25 master students per year on topics of relevance for the center and the subsea industry. There's about 20 professors involved in the program, and these include 3 departments from NTNU: chemical engineering, geoscience and petroleum, mechanical and industrial engineering. And there is contribution from the industry partners with personnel, knowledge, and data. And the annual budget is 33 million Norwegian kroner per year, and this will last for 8 years. Started 2015 and planned to end in 2023. These are the partners supporting the project. There is 4 oil companies and 2 service companies. Organization. There is a center board, and at the moment this is headed by Lundin, Norway. Center director Sigurd Skogestad. And we have 3 main groups. We have 3 main groups. Reference group is field architecture and RAMS. And we have another one, separation. And the third one is system control. Here is a picture from the center board. There is normally 2 meetings a year. A technical committee, 1 to 2 meetings per year. And we have a reference group. Normally we have 2 meetings per year. And this is the cyclus, annual cyclus. We start here with a reference group meeting, workshop in February. Then there is a center board meeting in June, and there is a new reference group meeting in September. And the result from this meeting goes to the technical committee, and then to the center board, and then they decide the annual working plan for the next year. That's how it works. There is a number of projects within field architecture. We have 3 projects. Within RAMS, there is 4 projects: separation, characterization, system control. And system control. I'll come back to this a little bit later. Field architecture. There is 3 projects. Subsea gate box. We look into different alternative subsea system architecture, starting with the reservoir model, production model, computer production profile, and economic analysis. And we end up with net present value of the different concepts. This shows some of the elements we are working on. From the reservoir, well module, booster module, riser module, and topside module. For the multi-phase booster module, we develop generic models for multi-phase subsea booster and wet gas compression. RAMS look at a new safety and control philosophy, RAMS in system design, prognostic and condition-based maintenance, and optimization condition monitoring. Fluid characterization, flow assurance, produced water quality and injectivity. We look at how to clean the water, how to handle the water before you inject the water into the reservoir. Wax deposition, sequential separation, modeling of coalescence, influence of production and EOR chemicals on produced water quality. Separation concept. There have been a lot of research on separation in the past. Here we look at membranes for gas dehydration, H2S and hydrate control, experiments and characterization on fluid particle breakage, compact separation concept, and subsea dehydration using membrane processes. System control, modeling on multivariable control of subsea system, control of subsea processes, estimation of unmeasured variables, process control algorithms and subsea separation, control and for extending component life, control strategy for extending remaining useful life, production optimization, enhanced virtual flow metering. So these are the system or the project ongoing within subsea system control. Related to separation, we have a lab which have been built for subsea process control project, and to the right we also have some new concept for separation being tested out. Well, here is a list of, as I mentioned, there are 5 companies supporting the project, and we always look for a new participant. And here is some reason to join SubPro, and I will not go through all this, but I will just mention the first one, that all partners get non-exclusive user right to all project results, including commercialization and possible to apply for transfer of ownership. So this is SubPro, and here is a picture from Rotvall in Trondheim, Statoil Research Center. And this is the PhD student and the postdoc and the professor, in total 25 at the moment. So this is was the subsea process and project, and the next project I will present is the InPart project. And this is a Brazilian Norwegian subsea operation consortium, and it is supported, or the member is Statoil, Petrobras, and Global Center of Expertise Subsea, located in Bergen, and NTNU, USB, and Federal University Rio de Janeiro, and Unicamp. This is a project which started 2017 and will last for 3 years. And the annual funding is 1.5 million per year, and the main goal is to form partnership between Norwegian higher education and research institutions and excellent partners in prioritized countries, and special emphasis on integrating higher education and research, and it may also include business partners. And we have a steering committee consisting of myself, Kazu Nishimito, USB, Agemero Seki, Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, Casio Kopil, Petrobras, Audun Fornes, Statoil, Gisle Nordahl, GC Subsea. what you see here is SubPro, and in addition SFEMU. This is another project which is linked to this impart application. It's about marine operation in virtual environment, and I have listed the listed the link here, so you can go and see more in detail what it contains. Objective of the partnership is to establish and develop partnership into a world-leading consortium within subsea operation, education, research and development. Sub-objectives are to strengthen the competitiveness and secure the position of Norwegian and Brazilian institutions as leading within subsea operation technology. Contribute to establish cross-institutional and multidisciplinary projects that enable step change in subsea operation practices. And develop further professionals for the global energy scene with depth knowledge in subsea with a broad fundament from integrated operation. And last, spread technology and work process from subsea operation to other application areas and learn from other industry like space exploration, aerospace, medicine, military. There are 4 work packages in this project, and it's not money for a project, but it's not money for research, but it's money for mobility. We plan to have approximately 30 reciprocal visit and 4 short-term stay. Typically 3 months are planned for per year. And workshop and seminar, 2 to 4 thematic workshops will be held annually, alternating between the countries. So last year we had, not last year, in April this year, we had a workshop here in Brazil, and the plan is to have a new one in Trondheim next year. Work package 3, education. We want to develop a joint education program in 2018 and 2019, in addition to course supervision of PhD candidates. The aim, project development, is the plan is to developing and submitting 1 joint project application in 2017, 2 in 2018, and 3 in 2019 to Norwegian, Brazilian, and European funding programs. So this is more the money available here is mainly for traveling, arrangement of this workshop, planning new projects. This is a picture from the workshop here in Rio in April. And what we cover here was subsea field development and architecture, safety, reliability and maintenance of subsea facility and system, subsea operation, process operation and process control. So far we have some projects ongoing. There is virtual simulation of complex subsea operation at the NTNU and USB, Henrik Gasper, NTNU, and Kazu Ishimoto, USB, exchange of 2 PhD postdoc for 3 months, and 2 reciprocal 1-week visit. So this is the budget for this project, 160,000. And the second one is parameter estimation and real-time optimization in subsea oil production. It's also between USB and NTNU. Visiting PhD to NTNU for USB for 6 months. And the last one, Sigurd Skogestad NTNU and Agamero Seki, Federal University Rio de Janeiro, visiting MSc student to NTNU for 3 months. And so it's not only PhD and postdoc, it's also master student have this possibility to visit Norway and vice versa. And the next plan is to arrange a workshop in Trondheim in March, April. This is preliminary time. It's not completely decided when, and it will be in the spring of 2018. So this is my last slide.
Questions? More explanation about the Interpod project or SUPRO?
Well, here's Cássio from Petrobras Research Development Center. I'd like to know about the process to select the PNAG works inside the SUBPRO. I can see that you have in SUBPRO a well-structured proposal. It's very interesting how in Norway you carry out this kind of selection. But in the other hand, you have mentioned that you support third PhD thesis inside the SUBPRO. How is the process to carry out the link between SUBPRO that have some aims and the academic work?
Well, as I mentioned, it's all the money allocated for PhD education, and hopefully the result from the PhD work can be taken one step further and into a commercialization process. So all the work done is done by PhD student and postdoc. In other projects ongoing, there is maybe a researcher working on the project, and in addition, we may have PhD student and master student, but this is a pure PhD master student project.
Okay, another question? No? Okay, let's thank you Professor Sigmar for the presentation. So the next talk will be from the presentation from Global Center Expertise Subsea, strengthening the collaboration, innovation, and internationalization subsea industry from Gisli Nonda.
Yes.
Okay, so all yours.
Thank you very much. I think you have to bear with me. I only have half a throat today, so if my voice stops, then let me know and I will speak higher. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Gisle, as introduced. I'm R&D manager of GC Subsea, a cluster organization, which I will talk about now and describe what we're doing and how we're doing it. So basically, we are a bunch of companies that are members and partners in this cluster. Many of you are here today, and for that I'm really, really happy. The big partners, you've heard Statoil today, you've heard Aker Solutions. I've seen people here from Technip, FMC, NTNU, SINTEF, GC Subsea, and the list goes on. Many of you are here today, like I said, and that's really, really important. What we are kind of an innovation organization, working with these companies to help them get their ideas into the market. That can be, for example, we help them how to get funding from Innovation Norway, for example, the Research Council, and things like that. So in total, about 120 companies, including subsea oil and gas, pure subsea oil and gas companies. We have banks on the financial side. We have lawyers that can handle the IPR, intellectual property rights, and the list goes on. We are supported by Innovation Norway, the Research Council, and something called SIVA. They're funding the infrastructure, R&D infrastructure in Norway, and also by the industry. So it's a 50-50 collaboration between the public and the oil and gas subsea industry. You will also maybe recognize some of the collaborators here from Brazil as well. So we have quite a long history with collaboration with Brazil. So again, I'm really happy to be able to talk to you today. So what is GC Subsea? We come from Norway, from the Bergen, the western part, and we represent the world's most complete cluster for life of field solutions, meaning aftermarket. We handle the companies, of course, handle the life of field service, installation, and things like that. And we know that the Norwegian companies have more than 50% of the market share for subsea. What's really important about Norway, and especially Bergen also, or the coast of Norway, I should say, going off, of course, Trondheim and everything along the coast, is that we have complementary industries. We have maritime industry, we have marine industry. So we don't just need to work with the oil and gas. I will come back to that, how we can transfer technology to other markets, which is really important now these days when we are in a little bit of a downturn in the oil and gas industry. Yes, the companies, we know they have a track record, of course, you all know that. You've been collaborating with these guys for many years. Very high hydrocarbon recovery rates, and HSE performance is always a top priority, which it is also here. The goal of this program and the goal of GC Subsea is to work to increase the competitiveness of the companies. We are a non-profit organization, so basically if the companies are happy, then we are happy. That's how it works. We want to make them more competitive, and we want to make them able to take a larger global market share in the subsea world. Of course, you know the objectives, you know what's going on today. Cost efficiency, we need to strengthen the competitiveness, we need to work smarter and be able to do the same operations using less time, for example. A lot of things I'm working with, also together with the University of Bergen, NTNU, and other universities, is the research-based innovation. It's been mentioned several times here before today, and it's really, really crucial to have this link between academia, science, and industry. So that's really important for us to work together with the scientists. And I will come back to the third point here, which is called ocean innovation. We've called this one ocean innovation beyond oil and gas. What we mean here is sometimes they use the term crossover in Norway. It's basically technology transfer. We know that we have developed a lot of technology within oil and gas, and we know that we can use this in other markets as well. So I will come back to that. I have some examples. The drivers internationally, you all know these things as well, but I will just briefly mention it. We know there will be increased demand for energy. I was very pleased this morning when I heard somebody saying that the oil and gas industry will persist. Sometimes it feels like it's the end of the line, but I'm sure it's not, and I'm glad for that. So it's an industry that will be going on for many, many years. But then again, of course, we have to adapt to climate and environmental challenges, and the competition is stronger than ever. Sustainability, of course, is important for the companies here, as for any companies operating today. Our license to operate is that we need, of course, to take these sustainable development goals into consideration. I've crossed or marked the ones that are relevant for us, and you will see throughout the presentation why it should be like this, because we work with the seafood industry, we work with companies that make clean water, things like that. So we touch upon all of these sustainable development goals through the work we do. So this is the picture that was recently shown in the previous presentation from Statoil and Subpro, the subsea factory concept, and this is where we have been really, really good in Norway for many, many years, and also here in Brazil, of course, with the deep water areas you have. So the picture here is the biggest one, because this is the main part of our activity, subsea oil and gas, and has been for the last 12 years, and will be also in the future. But what I mentioned is this technology that we have developed over the past 40, 50 years. We put these things down for, it can stay there for 40 years. We know that we can use this technology also within offshore renewable energy, which probably the speaker after me will talk about, I assume. For example, here is the windmills, the offshore wind farms. You can see the anchoring systems, the surface protection, a lot of things that we can provide technology from subsea oil and gas. Marine food production, this is one example now that is, as we speak, is in Norway. It has been built and has been transported to Norway. The size here is, I think you can put a jumbo jet inside, so it's like an oil platform, huge construction, which will be used for salmon farming in offshore in Norway. And it even has a subsea yellow color, of course, so the technology transfer is quite obvious. But these are important markets as well for the companies that are in the cluster. And the deep sea mining, we see that this is an emerging market. There is a lot of things going on. I know NTNU has got a Marmine project, so there's a lot of things going on in Trondheim as well as in Bergen on that subject. And kind of, sorry, a thing that fits in between everything here is integrated monitoring. It was also mentioned in Subpro that condition-based maintenance and things like that is kind of a enabling technology, or a technology that fits in all these markets. So we also have quite a strong technology environment on the monitoring systems and sensors and things like that. Yes, what's in it for the members? Why do they want to be members and partners here? We have a knowledge network which they have, of course, free access to through the cluster. We also support innovation projects, both financially and with our own competence. So it's pre-project funding. It's not much money, but we see that a little bit of this kick can really generate more activity on the long run. Business development programs, I will come back to that, but we have special programs to accelerate companies and also to make startup companies lean in the way when they start up, so they don't fall down early in the company development. We have quite a lot of meeting places and events. We are co-organizing this business event now on Wednesday this week, which we are very happy about, and international market programs, network, and promotion and marketing are things we're working quite a lot on. We now recently opened our own accelerator for startup companies, and it's called the Ocean Industries Accelerator, which can be anything basically related to the ocean. It can be oil and gas companies, it can be food, it can be everything. It's in the middle of downtown Bergen, where there are many, many companies located, and it's a collaboration between two other clusters in Norway. This cluster program is quite huge. It's 40-something clusters altogether. So here is one for seafood. They're the leading experts on salmon production. And you have one called NCE Maritime Cleantech, which are in the forefront when it comes to battery propulsion and hydrogen fuel cells and things like that for the maritime industry. So we collaborate with them and the Technology Transfer Office in Bergen to help these companies grow and excel. So that's really something that was opened just a couple of months ago. So we're really happy about that one. Sorry. I will talk about our key strategic areas, which are set by the industry and the universities and R&D institutes together in the board. So we have 6 of them. Everything can be put on these 6 areas. Competences and infrastructure is why we are a part of the Interpod program together with NTNU, because we really want to promote subsea education and also transfer of knowledge between countries. So that's a really, really good project that I'm looking very much forward to the continuation. Yeah, so what do? We speak on behalf of the industry because we know the industry very well. We have meetings regularly with everyone in the cluster. So we can help the universities, for example, develop education programs. One example from the University of Bergen that just recently launched something they call a master program in ocean technology. Previously, it was more towards oil and gas, but now it's oil and gas is still a major part, but you can also specialize within sensor development and things like that for other ocean industries. Test facilities, R&D infrastructure is important. I just took some examples here. It's a deep sea research center in Bergen. NTNU has got a lot of things going on, interesting in Trondheim, SINTEF, ocean laboratories. There are many, many things available, which we need to kind of make available and known for the companies, especially the small and medium-sized companies, which basically make up 99% of all companies. They are below 100 employees. So that's really where we need to put in the push. Global Subsea University Alliance is something that we also have been participating in the establishment of. These are the universities that are a part of it, and as you can see, it's not, of course, random. It's in the big subsea markets in the world. Africa is the only one missing as of today, but it's been working on that. So Rio, of course, is a part of it. In Western Australia, NUS Singapore, Aberdeen, Houston, and the University of Applied Sciences in Bergen. So that's the kind of overarching goal here is to develop educational programs across the countries and institutions, and also joint R&D projects, of course. So that's the, and we are sort of on the side here, helping them with project funding and things like that if that's needed. But it's, of course, really important to help share this knowledge, of course, between the countries. Yes, I talked about ocean innovation. Oil and gas technology can be used in other markets. It's a really good report from Marine Tech in Trondheim, which is now SINTEF Ocean, that has shown what are the biggest kind of low-hanging fruits to transfer technology from one market to another one. And the biggest potential is between offshore oil and gas to marine food production, for example. And we know, of course, we need more food, we will be more people, so there is, of course, incentives for producing more food, and then the offshore part of it is a natural way of doing it. Deep sea mining, I talked about. We know that in the future, more minerals will come from the future because the onshore mines are going to be depleted, so there are higher concentrations on the subsea. Yes, and energy, of course, you know these things, but there are quite hairy goals on the amount of renewable energy to be used. Statoil has talked about solar power today. I know they just recently launched high wind, so there is a lot of things going on in this segment as well. Yes, on the technology side, which is really what I'm working the most with, is, like I mentioned, this link between industry and technology. That's really, really, really important. We see that so many interesting things happen when industry talks to scientists. That's really the fun part of the job, to get those things and those projects going. This is a picture from up north in Norway. It's a system, environmental monitoring system, that's looking at the deep water corals outside of northern Norway. There are oil and gas activities not far from, so Statoil has developed this ocean laboratory, which you can use, of course, to do environmental monitoring, but you can also the equipment and the next phase, as far as I've understood. So that's sort of a key project for us within the technology side, is this integrated monitoring. It doesn't have to be only environment, it can be asset monitoring and things like that. Yes, I mentioned the business development programs. We have two of them. We have something called Subsea First Step, which recently changed the name. I'm sorry about that. Now it's called Accelerator. Basically, companies in the energy market that want to excel, then they can sign up for these these courses with the GC Subsea, and they get one program for startup companies, early phase companies, and there is another one for more established companies that have customers, that have a market, but they really want to take it to the next level. So they get professional support for that. It doesn't cost anything for the companies to participate, so it's really a good opportunity if they want to expand. So I will come into a little bit examples of companies that have been through this and actually have established in Brazil as one example. So it really works, these things. Yeah, on the market side, of course, I couldn't resist taking this beautiful picture here. This is from, we were here last year in Rio Oil and Gas. The other one, I think, is from Perth, if I'm not mistaken, Australia. We collaborate a lot with Research Council, Innovation Norway, Norwegian Energy Partners on these entry programs. That has been in Brazil, as far as I know, several times, and Mexico and other markets as well, where companies that are well established in markets, companies to get the information they need to establish in the market as well. We also have quite a lot of market seminars and market updates happening in the marketplace and where they should turn their focus. We also recently started with the new markets, the renewable energy, the fisheries, these things, also to help the companies get more feet to stand on. That's probably not the English expression, but diversify at least, so they don't, they have lower risk in the business place. Subsea Index is something I should have described more, but basically it's a search function that's available through our website. It's available in English and Portuguese. That's not a coincidence, because we have so many things going on here in Brazil. So basically all the member companies in GC Subsea are listed in there. You can search for if you want somebody that works on risers, then you will get all that information. So it's kind of a matchmaking portal, which you also can register if you're not a member. That doesn't matter. International conferences, this is of course why we are here today. It's not to talk about myself, it's to talk about what the companies are doing. That's the important part. Yes. And the last one of the strategic areas is work processes. Basically, it goes on lean management, production. It has been mentioned before today, but we can really learn from other industries. We have a collaboration with Sintef Raufoss Manufacturing in Norway. They are working with really automotive industry, aerospace, and things like that. We can really learn from what these guys are doing, and also Germany has been mentioned. So it's really the Industry 4.0 mindset that we see, of course, is applicable to our industry as well. Standardization has been mentioned today as well. And we also collaborated in a project there with DNV-GL last year, which was a new recommended practice for subsea documentation. So it's quite a few, it's quite a big potential to save cost by reducing the amount of documentation following that recommended practice. So I recommend all of you to read the recommended practice. Yes, a few project examples. Now I've been talking a lot about what we should be doing, so now I will show you that we're actually doing these things. Just a couple of examples here. One project we did together with the seafood cluster. It's called Subsea Meets Aquaculture. It's more of an information campaign. What we did, we took 50, or all the companies that wanted to be a part of it, it was 15 at the end, from the subsea oil and gas sector, visited one of these aquaculture farms. And the sea farming guys were talking to the oil and gas people, saying what kind of challenges they have. A lot of things are today done manually in the fish farms. But of course, you can automate things. You can do biomass measurements, you can do water quality, all of these things. So the sensor development, big data handling, and these things is something that oil and gas has been doing for years. So that's really some good synergies there. So through that project, we developed a tailor-made business development program called Excel Crossover, that basically helps companies, in this case, going from subsea to aquaculture. We're also working on the same now for offshore renewable energy, which hopefully we can launch next year. Then it's a targeted approach, going from, of course, not saying that you should quit oil and gas. That's not what I'm saying. It's to have more markets to work in. And there is a lot of workshops, of course, collaboration going on to get these ideas into the funding systems as well to get joint projects. Offshore renewable energy, again, when showing these things, this is what we facilitate. The companies are doing the work. We help them get this going. It's just examples. We have several companies that are working with offshore renewable energy. This is an example of a conference we had in September. And we also have a collaboration with the Orkney Islands on the tidal power. It's the EMEC site in Strømsnes, where you can, it's one of the few full-scale test facilities for tidal energy. And we have 3 or 4 startup companies that have really, really interesting stuff going on the tidal energy. So now we have connected them with EMEC, and hopefully we can get some European Union funding and things like that, and they can really start developing and commercializing this technology. So it's really, really fun to see that all of these things are now kicking in and working. Yes, I won't say too much about this, but it's really, really important. It's the MIT Regional Entrepreneurship Acceleration Program, MIT REAP. These are the regions. It's probably impossible for you to read, but basically this is Western Norway, which is basically just a little speck on this map. It's huge areas here that are benchmarked on innovation capacity, and entrepreneurial capacity. And Norway is a part of this for the first time because of this value creation we have on the west coast, going all the way up to Trondheim and further. So now we are a part of this and being measured. What they see is that in Norway we're really good at innovation. We innovate a lot of things. But then we have a little bit of more problem when it comes to the entrepreneurship. So basically we can innovate things, but we don't get paid that much. So this project now has, of course, identified that challenge. It's not a problem, it's a challenge. We can solve this because now in the next phase, there will be tailor-made programs developed to, again, make commercialization quicker. So that's really, really interesting project to follow as well. So it's MIT Boston that's running that, and my boss is also a part of the steering committee here. So this is a really, really interesting project. Of course, everybody else today has talked about digitalization, so I will do the same. The buzzword, we need to, basically, we went together with, there are 3 global centers of expertise in Norway. We are subsea oil and gas and ocean technology. We have one in Kristiansand on drilling technology and mechatronics, GC Node, and one in Ålesund, GC Blue Maritime, on maritime industry and visualization and things like that. Okay, thank you. So basically what we have done here, because we know that the industry can benefit from this, but we don't know how we can benefit from it. It's been more like a journey where we have put a lot of companies together, and we've been looking at kind of every technology that's there. I mean, it's an evolution process. I mean, some companies, they're happy if they can automate. Then they don't need this interconnected system. So it's more a kind of a information campaign that you need to know which state your company is at, and you need to know how you can take the next step. So that's something that we also have done together with Sintef Raufoss that has benchmarked the cluster capacity for us. Yes, this I guess the presentations will be available after the meeting, so I will not go through this. Some examples of things we have funded. Everything from image analysis, multi-phase, CO2 storage, simulation, a lot of things. So, does it work? Do we see something in the sharp end, or is it just fancy talk? It really has paid off, of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't be standing here bragging about it. On the competence side, we have developed 3 bachelor and 2 master programs together, of course, with the industry and the academia. Subsea awareness course is being arranged in Bergen every year. The Subsea University Alliance I've talked about. We have supported over 60 pre-projects, approximately 60 million over the last 10 years, and that has resulted in over 600 million back from, so it's a 10 times return. So it's quite, even for me, I'm also a scientist, but I understand those kind of economics. That's, I can live with that. The Lofoten Observatory, I've talked about that one, and the business development program. So now I have 2 slides left, and I will be finished. One example of a company that has been established now. It's called Subsea Products. Quite a small company, actually, in Bergen. They produce flying leads, hydraulic distribution. So they were a part of this next step program, the Acceleration program in 2012, participated in the market entry program to Brazil 2016, and we were here last year. I was with them on Rio Oil and Gas. So basically what happened is he came home with a big smile on his face. He commercialized the project. These things are being produced by MFX in Brazil. And he has got Shell as a major sponsor for the development project. So this is really a kind of a sunshine story on that. It works, it really helps. And we have just been in the outskirts of this, of course, but we have provided some small push when it's needed. So I will end with this example. It was mentioned before today. I was happy, actually, that out of these joint collaboration projects, 3 out of the 4 include members from our cluster. That's really good. One of them is this one with ViceSub. OTC Spotlight Award was mentioned. They actually have won it twice, 2015, 2017. It's wireless transfer of power and data. It's by using inductive technology, so you don't need pins. So it really makes it easier to connect these things. So now this is a joint project where they will develop AUV docking facilities for both power distribution or charging, and also for data transfer. And again, they have collaborated with several of the companies in the cluster, R&D institutes, and have been a part of international, or have gotten international advice as well. So that, I hope, yes, that was my last slide. So Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Nodo. I will have time for questions.
Roberto Aroso, a Federação das Indústrias do Estado do Rio de Janeiro. I would like to know why don't you put the FIRJAN in your international collaborations, international relations, in the first slide that you have.
Yep.
And you put FIESP.
Okay.
Because we are in Rio de Janeiro.
Yes.
Rio de Janeiro is the biggest producer of oil and gas in Brazil. And you are missing FIRJAN. And you put FIESP.
Yeah.
Oh, it's, I want.
No, I am really happy that you brought that up. I don't have the answer. I don't know. But then, I mean, these are the established collaborators that we have a collaboration agreement with. So we don't have one, I guess, with you guys. But then I'm here this week. So if we should collaborate, then we should talk about that. So I'm really happy that you make that point. So,
okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, I wonder what is the major source of funding from for GCs, from industry, from government? Or?
Yeah, it's both. It's we get 10 million Norwegian kroners every year for 10 years, and we also get 50%, so in excess of 10 million, also from the industry in cash, and also from the R&D partners in in-kind hours. So the total budget is almost 30 million Norwegian kroner. So it's governmental funded, industry, and academia, and research as well. So it's everybody contribute with. Yeah.
And then you support those startup companies, small companies, because it's very high-tech companies, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah, so.
Yes. Yes, it is. And of course, I mean, it's all connected. I mean, the guys on top here, they are relying on all of these guys to be able to deliver. When they have a project with Petrobras or with Statoil, then they need to deliver, for example, to Technip or Aker Solutions, which again will deliver to these guys. So everything is connected. There is a value chain that's very well represented here. So, yeah, no, there's a lot of interesting things going on in the startup companies. Definitely, it's a fun time to work these days, even though it's a little bit downturn, but it's fun.
Yeah, over there.
That's funded the whole fylkeskommunene. We have no. I will give it to my boss. One of the benefits.
It's funded for the budget, represented here. Also, we applied for additional. Sorry, I'll repeat. It's funded by the budget which Gisle has presented, but also parts of it, depending how many we are running per year, it's also extra funded by Innovation Norway and also by local municipalities. Yeah.
No, that's a good point. I forgot to mention that. But these things here, that's the emblem of the municipality. So all the municipalities in and around the area where we have offices, they are also supporting us since we are developing the industry in the municipalities. So that's a good point.
Is there any initiative for startups based in Brazil?
We are working on it. And that's actually very good that you brought that up, because the Bergen Technology Transfer Office, BTO, they have initiated actually a collaboration. I can't remember who it was with, but I know that there is something going on now. We would like to have Brazilian companies come to Norway and sit in our environment, and we would like Norwegian companies to go to Brazil and sit in your environment. So that's definitely something that we're working on. So hopefully something will come out of that in next year at least. We should have a more complete plan on it, but it's definitely being worked on. And that's, again, the Technology Transfer Office that's leading that.
Any more questions? Okay, so let's thank Dr. Nodo.
Thank you.
You have now a break for a coffee, and 10 minutes break, and then you'll be back here, okay?